Today I want to talk about something very, very important for your life. It's literally, most likely, the only thing that is separating you from success at this point. You have to understand this. No matter what stage you are at, this is the number one thing that keeps people from success. Okay? And so, as you probably have noticed, this video was titled How I Easily Tricked My Brain into Doing Hard Things. And that's exactly what I'm going to discuss with you today. Because, see, our brain is wired for comfort. It's wired for pleasure. We are constantly moving towards pleasure and moving away from pain. This is how our brain works. This is how our brain decides whether we're going to slack off today, whether we're going to even pursue our goals, is because of the balance in scale, you could think of it, as to how much is pleasure in this certain circumstance outweighing the pain in the same circumstance. So if working out has more pleasure, actually going to the gym has more pleasure than it does the pain of working out, say like get the pain of getting up early or whatever it is, then you will work out, okay? And I'll discuss this in these points right here. So number one, discomfort equals the only barrier to success, as I've already mentioned. Guys, it really is that simple. If you can get over discomfort, you can be successful. How? Think about it. The relationship you want to start, the friends you want to have, it all comes down to, can you deal with that initial discomfort of approaching perhaps a new friend group, right? Approaching that girl you want to talk to, right? Starting the business, doing the things that you have to do within the business that may feel what? Uncomfortable, right? So literally every barrier is just discomfort. That's the only barrier to success. Now, number two, I want to touch on this briefly, okay? Hard work isn't toughness, healing is. A lot of people, especially the gurus, right? It's like, oh, you got to toughen it out. You got to be a man, do the things that you don't want to do. And that's 100% correct. But the problem is when you're using hard work to get over your issues, right? To get over the things that you never wanted to really face for years and years, literally for a lot of people, their entire lives. And the reason why this is important for success too is because if you always avoid the things that you don't want to deal with inside through things like hard work or other distractions, like hard work sometimes can just be a distraction and is not necessarily getting you closer to your goals. In fact, if you heal your past, you'll find that you'll be able to do less work while getting like 10x the results. So that's very important, okay? Because what happens is we have these blockages from within us, these emotional blockages that get stored in the body. Another way to think of this is chakras, okay? Chakras is what allows us to become aware of these emotional storages within our body at different centers in our body. And what happens is when we release the energy in these areas, we are able to free ourselves in whatever area that blockage was. For example, I'll try to do it on camera here. If you have an inability to love yourself and therefore love the world around you, then this area right here might feel tight or just kind of like a restriction, right? Like a resistant energy in your chest and your heart area because you may be resisting that perception of love. Now what happens is ideally you want to release all of these energy centers so that you get to the crown chakra and you're able to open that up as well, which is really what enlightenment is. And once you do this, you're able to detach from yourself and therefore transcend this discomfort as a whole, okay? And see, the reason why I say healing is toughness is because it's the hardest thing to do. It's honestly easier to work 16 hours a day than to dive into the hard shadow work of all the things you've suppressed over the years and all the things you've tried to ignore and not heal. That's where the real toughness comes from, okay? Trust me. So hard work isn't toughness, healing is. Heal your problems and then everything will get a lot easier and you'll be able to crush it. And you'll have a huge advantage over your competition, okay? This is because very few people do this. Even billionaires and millionaires, right? They can still be miserable because they aren't going through the healing process. So not only can you be more fulfilled in your life, you can also just completely crush your competition. Now, pain, pleasure, and the familiarity of comfort. See, what you have to realize is that Comfort is only comfortable in the first place because of familiarity. Our brain wants to make sure that it has a certain level of certainty in our life, so that way it creates familiarity, it creates routines, it creates habits, things like this, in order to have a sense of certainty. Now, too much certainty, though, is going to be bad for your mental health, right? We also need a certain level of uncertainty, and when you have too much comfort, this can create a lot of pain. Now, this is actually a good thing because this can really get you out of the funk and flip you into having more discomfort in your life and embracing that, okay? So that's the relationship. I talked about it earlier with pain and pleasure. The only way you change, the only way that you can see discomfort as comfortable is when the pain of being comfortable outweighs the pleasure of being comfortable. When the pain outweighs the pleasure. So once you feel more pain in being in your current situation than you do pleasure, that's when you have an opportunity to change. And so really, even in self-help, the goal is kind of to push you towards basically perceiving more pain in your current reality that you don't want, so that your brain switches and it even wants to make the change, okay? And then this leads us to our fourth and final point. Challenge yourself as much as possible. You need to try, even if it's just starting small, to do something a little bit uncomfortable each day, and to honestly do as much uncomfortable things as you can in a day. So this can look like, let's say for whatever reason you're not going to the gym, maybe even just signing up for that membership is uncomfortable. Then it's going consistently that may be uncomfortable. And once you start going consistently, a consistent amount of times, then it's about pushing yourself in the gym. You see what I mean? So it's like every single day you add a little discomfort, and the ideal thing is to add as much discomfort as possible. For example, not only do I push myself in the gym in the morning, I also then take a cold shower, and for me, like, a cold shower's benefits is really just the discomfort of it, and like allowing myself to relax and really embrace the discomfort of it. So that's the biggest benefit to me that it has. And so you want to stack these uncomfortable things. If there's something that you're scared to do or uncomfortable, then you should do it. Obviously, I'm not saying that, right? Like if you're scared to jump in front of a car, like, don't do that, right? But you get what I'm saying. Like, if it's something you know you want to do or you have to do, but you're just scared to do it, and that's the only reason why you're not doing it, or you're feeling the discomfort, do it. Do a little bit of it, and over time, just do things that are uncomfortable, and then this will build naturally confidence and happiness from within. But you have to live with discomfort. I can always tell the misery of a person by the level of comfort they are living with. Live with discomfort. Do something that is uncomfortable every single day, and you will see your life transform before your very eyes. All right. Love you guys. Go ahead and subscribe. Comment below on anything that you find helpful in this video, or just any comments in general, right? Let me know what you think, and I will see you in the next video.